Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Julie Gilbert, along with Rachel Matthews. Hi, Rachel.
Hello.
And we are here every Monday coming to you live with our conversation food rules.
Yes.
And Rachel, did you have a great day yesterday?
Did I have a great day?
Yeah. Father's Day, right?
It started off rough just because it's so gray and rainy and we need a break in Oregon, people. We need a break. But then my husband and I ran away to the yeah. Oh, do you have sun today?
Yeah, look at that.
We do not.
Okay.
I'm so jealous. We do not have sun. We have blowy, windy, blustery gray. But we ran away to the mountains and went for a massive big hike in the mountains despite the weather. And of course, as always, felt way better afterwards. So it ended up being, and then we rented the new The Batman movie for family movie night. Very good.
Yeah.
It was good. How about you?
It was a good day. We had friends over, and then Zeke and we celebrated Father's Day, of course. And Zeke and my husband wanted more plants, more starts for the garden. This garden that started out small and getting bigger and bigger.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then Zeke and I went to a different church than we usually go to. So that's kind of fun.
Oh, that was fun.
And then Zeke prepared a beautiful meal, and he's going to prepare another beautiful meal tonight, which I'll tell you about in just a second. And yesterday was Father's Day, obviously, you know that. Today is my husband's birthday. So he's like back to back.
He sure is.
Yeah. So anyway, so here we are on chapter 53, I think, right? Yeah. Tell us about that.
Okay, I'm going to read it, guys. Here we go. Yeah. Chapter 53 is serve a proper portion and don't go back for seconds. What? I know. Just stop there for a minute. Breathe. Okay, here we go. You lose all control over portion size when you have second helpings. So, what is a proper portion? There is folklore offering some sensible rules of thumb based on your size. One adage says you should never eat a portion of animal protein bigger than your fist. Okay. Another says that you should eat no more food at a meal than what would fit in the bowl formed by your hands when cupped together. Okay. There we go. If you are going to break the rule on seconds, at least wait several minutes before doing it. You may well discover you don't really need seconds, or if you do, not as much as you thought.
Right.
Okay. We have this. We have a bowl.
Is it a bowl like this with open hands?
Right.
Open fingers?
Yeah. What? That's not very much. If I cup my hands in a bowl, that's not food.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And I know this is making me a little bit sad, I have to tell you, but I know last time we did talk about that it's a good thing that we don't need so much food to sustain our health and our livelihood and our energy. We don't need a ton of food. We're not always eating. I mean, there are animals out there that are always eating. They're always eating. They're always getting more nutrients to sustain their bodies. But thankfully, we don't need a ton of food. That's a good thing. Number one, it's expensive, especially right now. And number two, we can do other things than eat and fix food and shop for food or look for food or grow food. We can do other things.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Among the animal kingdom, we're freed up to build houses and make businesses and, create things. Whereas if you watch an animal, if you watch a bird, what does it do all day long? It forages, it builds a nest, it forages,
Yeah.
It's not, designing a PowerPoint. It's not going out for lunch with friends, So we are freed up to do a lot of other things. Like you said, the amount of food we need is so much less than what we think. But what does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, how do we wrap our brains around that?
Right. Yeah, because serving size really is all based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet, right?
Right.
It's based on calories, which we've kind of gotten away from. You
Mhm.
know, we're trying to eat more by tuning in
Mhm.
to our bodies and listening for those hunger signals, and honoring the hunger, and then really while we're eating more slowly
Mhm.
so that we can tune in and listen to the fullness or the satiety signals.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. If we slow down and think about the signals rather than being inspired to eat by what we see on TV, by what we are
Mhm.
served on a plate at a restaurant, by what a friend serves you, or by what you serve yourself. If you're not mindfully, I'm trying to think of something to compare this to, because what else do we do that's so mindless,
Mhm.
but that matters so much, right? Our nutrition is critical to our health and well-being,
Right.
and yet we get into habits and we just mindlessly put something on a plate or in a bowl and just eat it without even actually thinking about what it is that we're eating, and slowing down long enough to know if we've eaten enough and if we're satisfied. It's a
Right.
tricky thing. This is not easy.
Mhm.
It takes
It takes
practice.
it takes practice. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a skill, but it's definitely something that you can work on and build, and then
Very much.
it can become more intuitive,
Mhm.
or it can become a little more automatic or automated, although I'm always needing to kind of check in,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To kind of I mean, um, I have to regularly, probably once every couple months, I have to go back to tracking my food in a journal
Mm.
to kind of reawaken my senses and go, okay, what am I eating again? Because
Mhm.
it's so. I was reading a book recently about just the calories in, calories out, and
Mhm.
you're trying to think about how much we're burning when we're walking, and then how much have we eaten. And people regularly underestimate how much they've eaten.
Yeah.
When they're tracking, they regularly underestimate how much they ate of something,
Mhm.
how many calories was probably in that,
Right,
and
right.
frequently forget the little snacks. I mean, if you're not writing down or being mindful and aware of the little things that you put in your mouth during the day, those easily add up to several hundred calories. And again,
Mhm.
we're not talking about calories, but they're items of food that you've put in that counts, and yet it wasn't enough to be like a meal and to feel satisfying and whatever. It kind of just went in and then it was forgotten about. But it still
Mhm.
counts.
Yeah.
It's still either a surplus of calories, so to speak, or
Yeah.
um, so paying
Right.
attention
Yeah.
and, like you said, taking count and sort of
Yeah. And I know we're not talking about that,
Mhm,
but that's why sometimes the epidemiological studies on
mhm.
nutrition, that's why nutrition studies are so challenging,
Yeah.
because they're often based on food, um,
Reporting.
yeah, reporting,
Yeah.
or memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Questionnaires,
Mhm,
questionnaires. How
mhm.
many glasses of milk do you drink? Those kind of things that, if and they're talking about 6 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
So that can be very challenging to remember correctly. What did you have for dinner yesterday is enough to remember, right?
Yeah.
Versus 6 months ago. But anyway, that's that's
Yeah.
another topic. But
Mhm.
yeah, so to think that, gosh, what is a portion for myself compared to what is a portion for my husband?
Mhm.
Different. They're different.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what is a portion for my growing 21-year-old boy
Right. Mhm.
versus, boy, man, I mean, man, I guess, young man, versus my 65-year-old husband.
Mhm.
My husband's 65 years old today. Happy birthday, Kenny.
Happy birthday, Kenny.
Yeah.
Yes, it's, and if someone else is serving this happened to me when we were newlyweds. My husband is a great cook. He likes to cook, and in for much of our life, he's done a lot of the cooking, and he would also serve up our plates and be like, okay, here you go, here's dinner. And I just wouldn't pay attention, and I would just eat.
Mhm.
He would serve me up as much as he served himself,
Right.
not even thinking about it. So how do we start to serve less? How do we start to be aware of the portions?
Mhm.
Talk about intentional, mindful eating and like the tuning into the signals. Am I hungry? Am I not hungry?
Mhm. Mhm.
Why am I
Yeah.
eating? Right. But let's say you're hungry, and let's say we're gonna sit down and have dinner. Um, what are some tips or tricks to approach that meal to try to start thinking about this whole portion thing? This whole
Mhm. Mhm. Mm. You're asking me.
well, I'm asking us.
Okay.
So what do we do? Let's brainstorm. What do we do?
Right. Well, what do I do?
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I have to say, I think about, well, when I'm making my meal, I think of what is my protein going to be?
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't want to overdose on protein, but it is the thing. I mean, I'm going to use it to break down and use it, the amino acids, and
Mhm.
to build it's the building blocks, and it helps. And protein takes time to digest, so it keeps me, it will get me fuller, keep me fuller longer than, let's say, the any kind of processed food, but let's just say carbohydrates. So I think of protein first, and I think for me and my needs, I think of a deck of cards, I
Mhm.
guess, is a serving size. And then I don't want to think of less, Rachel. I want to think of more. So I want to get more fiber, and we've been talking about that for quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I always, so I want twice as much volume of vegetable than I have of protein, at least probably twice as much. So
Mhm.
yeah. And if I go back for seconds, I guess I go back for more vegetable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. You could kind of have a little rule for yourself
Yeah.
that if I go back for seconds, so I find I'm still hungry, then
Mhm.
then I'm going back for more vegetables.
Right.
Not more protein, not
Yeah.
more of your whole food
Hmm.
plant-based carbohydrate, whether it's quinoa or brown rice or
Right. Right. Hmm.
whatever it is. That's
Hmm.
not what you're going back for seconds for.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I like that. More of the veggies and filling up the plate with the veggies.
Right.
And I think that, I think we talked about this last week, but the 5 colors and 5 cups of veggies. If you try to
Hmm.
approach your day with that in mind, that's a goal if you're not there already, then maybe if that could be a goal, then
Hmm.
where are those cups of veggies going? And if it's now dinner time and you still need 2 more cups, then right away your plate needs 2 cups of veggies.
Right.
So serve those up, and then you know um, where are you going to go from there?
Hmm.
What's going to fill in? Um,
Hmm.
a lot. Some people talk about having a salad first to kind of
Mm.
help fill up and feel satisfied and
Right.
slow
Yeah.
yourself down, and you're
'Cause
getting the veggies
mhm.
in.
Yeah, because then you're going to get the bulk.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
expanding.
and the fiber, and actually the nutrients will, we have nutrient receptors in our stomach too that will also be activated to
Yeah,
start kind of tamping down the hunger in our brain. Yeah.
right, right.
So, yeah. And, we've said this over and over again, eating slowly also. So I like his point about, okay, so if you're still hungry,
Hmm.
just wait.
Yes. Yep.
And 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 it gives your brain time to catch up to your stomach, because
Mhm.
most of the time if we come to the table overly hungry, then we tend to eat faster.
Yes.
We're just gulping it down,
Right.
and then our brain doesn't, because it takes 20 minutes for that signal, those hormones, to get dumped into the bloodstream and then go to the brain and
Right.
cross the blood-brain barrier. So
Yeah.
we need to give ourselves time.
Mhm. Mhm. And that's the hardest thing to do, isn't
It
it?
is.
It's, you have to be so mindful of it, whether that means setting a timer or taking a note of the clock and sort of slowing yourself down and giving yourself a certain number of minutes from beginning to end of the meal, whether it's start off with 10 or 15. Can you stretch it to 10 or 15? And then could you eventually go 20 or 30? And giving yourself maybe that permission, if it feels restrictive or a little scary at first, to give yourself the permission for seconds if it's needed, but also that you're going to wait first. Right. There's an expansion and an abundance knowing I can have seconds if I want to.
Yeah. Good.
Right. So there's no rule. There's no restriction. There's no one slapping my hand.
No.
It feels permissive.
Yes.
But I'm going to be smart and wise about this and just slow down first and see if I actually need it.
Right. Do I need it?
Yeah.
Do I need it? Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. And I think we've said this before, that we really want to stop eating when we're getting to that. Oh, what's that? What was the Japanese term for it? Hara-hachi-bu or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. It's like at a 6, so I started eating at a 3, at a hunger level of 3, not 0 where I'm famished, but 3 where, I can feel my stomach kind of growling. And then I stop at a 6, maybe a 7. Yeah. But no, I don't want to push the envelope too far past that. And, supposedly that's 80% full.
Yeah. And the way that they were wording it in that chapter of the book was that I no longer have hunger.
Right.
There are 2 states. I have hunger and I no longer have hunger, rather than I have hunger or I'm starved and I'm full.
Yeah.
Right. These are extremes. And I think, this brings up an interesting mindset thing. I'm starving. That word, we don't use it properly. We're not actually starving, or I'm so hungry I could die. It's a long time to die of hunger.
Yeah.
And while I'm being a little bit, facetious and a little sarcastic here, the point is our brain hears these words.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you're starving? You're going to die? Like, it's our brain's quite literal when it comes to these feelings of scarcity and of I'm barely going to make it. And so it puts out some triggers here. You better go get that food. You better get it fast. You better scarf it down. And it pushes our behavior in this very manic kind of chaotic state. So even just changing the words you use with yourself, I have hunger. And then I no longer have hunger. You're not saying you're full. There's a difference between hunger and not hunger. But I think that there's a piece there that if we could start to change some of the language.
Yeah. No, I really like that. I think that's really good, Rachel. And, not to get super spiritual or anything, but our words can be blessing.
Yes.
Or they can be cursing.
Absolutely.
Right? Ourselves.
Absolutely.
So, right. And we do. And so in the same way, sometimes one of the strategies I use just to raise my level of awareness, because I'm going to hear what I say, and that just brings, and that changes my behavior in a different way than if I just think it, right? Because words are powerful.
Yes.
So let's say I can even say out loud, and I'm kind of, for example, I'm eating this second, whatever dessert or cookie or whatever. I can say that out loud. I'm eating a cookie,
Yes.
And that might stop me in my tracks just by knowing, just hearing what I'm doing. Rather than just doing it. But I'm kind of veering from your point, but the point is words are powerful, and I want to speak life to myself as well as to other people. So I have hunger versus I'm so hungry I could die. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And our brain listens and it responds. It's like kind of like the blessing or curse. You've all heard of self-fulfilling prophecy. What we think about our circumstance dictates how we feel
Mm.
And our feelings dictate our actions.
Mhm.
And based on that action that you take, whether it's from a positive mindset or a negative
Mhm.
mindset,
Mhm.
blessings or curses, right?
Mhm.
That's going to flow the results you receive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so just a twist of the thought
Mhm.
process there can
Mhm.
change
Right.
everything. So
Yeah. Very good. Right.
I
That's
like
right.
that.
Very good. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, so tell us what your Monday dinner plans are.
So Monday dinner is probably leftovers from our family Father's Day dinner last
Mm.
night,
Yeah.
which was I think we made some brown rice, black beans over a bed of greens with
Mm.
some salsa, and I make like this Mexican caviar. It's like a bean salad,
Mm.
um, and then avocado. It was
Yeah.
like a Mexican bowl, basically.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
all the layers.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, Zeke is making shrimp tacos for his dad for his
Oh,
birthday. And so we'll have, and he does the shrimp on the grill, which is really delicious.
mhm.
And then I make this slaw with cabbage and
Ooh, yes.
cilantro and carrots and green onions.
Mm.
And then of course we'll have avocados, and then I might make some cauliflower rice to go with that.
Mhm.
And then I'm hoping that Kenny, even though it's his birthday, he loves cooking too. So he makes this delicious tomatilla
Ooh,
salsa. That is so good.
so good.
So I'm hoping that we do that. And then I
Well, it's
have berries.
Mexican fiesta tonight for both
Yeah,
of us.
it is. And then I bought some peaches and berries
Ooh,
for our dessert.
oh, yum.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yum, yum, yum. Yeah, peaches and nectarines, those are coming in season, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Little bit, maybe a little more. They probably came from California, I'm sure. But
Probably.
yeah, the Oregon peaches are a little later in the summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Everything
today,
later this
today
summer.
the official first day of summer.
Today?
Is it today or tomorrow? I always
I
forget.
know.
Depends on whether it's a leap year or not.
It needs to officially get here is what it
I
needs.
know. We want summer. We
Yes.
want summer. Yeah.
I have seen in the forecast, it's looking pretty good. Like the next 10-day forecast is looking pretty
Awesome.
good.
Okay,
So,
great. All right. Well, you have a
all right.
great rest of your day, Rachel, and thanks to everyone for listening. Yeah. Stay healthy.
See you, everybody.
Bye.